Welcome to the Babies in Business Podcast. Join your hosts, Rachel and Avram Gonzales, real-life parents and business partners. Each week on Babies in Business, Rachel and Avram create a space for entrepreneurial parents to find their own way. They'll dive into insights on topics like leadership, efficiency, self-awareness, budgeting, and human psychology as they nurture their family and build their business. Here's your hosts, Avram and Rachel.
Every parent knows the pain of being stuck at home with a bored toddler.
Oh gosh, it's pretty bad.
Bored toddler, really tired little baby, tired mom.
Yep. Oh my gosh.
Sometimes schedules don't really line up and you find yourself stuck at home. You can't really go anywhere.
Yeah.
Can't really do much else. And we're making this podcast because we know you can relate.
Yeah.
And we also know that being entrepreneurs, it is hard to sit still and not be productive, not be busy, not doing something. Like, we like the feeling of fulfillment of having accomplished.
Right. Exactly. We like to fix things too. You know, get things done, fix things.
So when you feel stuck or you feel like you're in limbo, it's like, what do you do with that? And that's what this episode is about, because we just had this big discovery that we wanted to share with you that we're definitely going to be taking forward in our household.
Absolutely. Yes. So we just stumbled on this because, you know, I think it was kind of a carryover from potty training with Lincoln that we would just stay at home, let him have some time to practice to make sure that we get all the bodily fluids out into the toilet, you know. And so we're at home a lot, and I just found myself being really frustrated by that recently because Lincoln is getting increasingly just more curious. He wants to go out too. He doesn't really like being at home all the time. So
No.
just found ourselves looking at our clocks or our wristwatches and seeing the time, and it's like 4 hours until the first baby goes down. We're like, how are we going to do this? And we noticed that when we're doing something like a project or we're doing chores around the house, you know, getting laundry done or we're cleaning the floors or whatever that might be, that Lincoln actually entertains himself. He'll go play with his cars or he'll be with us, but he'll let us do that thing.
So we discovered this when something took us out into the garage. Oh, it was the new crib. So we're going to be getting ready to transition August, the almost 4-month-old, into a crib.
Yep.
So we bought the new crib and we're out in the garage. We're like, we got to set this thing up, you know. And I mean, gosh, maybe we won't have time after the babies go to bed, but regardless, let's set this thing up. And we noticed that as we're putting this together, like he wanted to be involved at times. And it was like, oh my gosh, dude, would you stop picking up the screws and running away with them? But on the flip side, it was like he was over in another part of the garage at one point, just really fascinated with some of the old toys that he had found.
Right.
Different other things that are going,
But he'd come over and show me things. That was the interaction he wanted from me, which was nice because I was able to actually do something, be productive. And that felt so good. Mm-hmm. We were at home, you know, if he comes over and his code now for he needs to go poop is poop goes in the potty. And then I pick him up, put him under my arms, and I run him to the potty as quickly as I can. And there we are. So we have these codes that we're at home and we can still get the thing done, be productive, and oh my gosh, whoa, what a breakthrough.
Yeah, when we're just sitting around and trying to pass the time and there's no activity or thing going on, Lincoln's getting bored. That's a big part, right? And then he's just seeking so much attention. You know, if you're on your phone,
oh boy,
he really wants your attention now.
Yep.
You know?
Well, and I find that, you know, for me, I'm getting to the point where there's only one feed at night with August, so I am getting more energy to do things, but I find that I'm pretty tired towards the end of the day, so it is difficult to do something with him. And gosh, there's so many things that could be done, but I just feel like there's very little that I have to give at the end of the day.
Very little to give, and so it's like you have to rally.
Oh, yeah.
What we noticed was he likes to, like, if you've got laundry to do,
Oh,
he
yeah.
loves following you around while you're moving the loads. He loves pushing them in and stuff like
Right.
that.
Or he loves rolling them once you put them on whatever surface you are going to use to contain them and then fold them. You know, he loves stuff like that.
He started like pulling the chair over from the kitchen table so that he can help with dishes, you know.
Oh, he loves that.
Just really play with the water, which is super fun. But, you know, at least he's like doing that and he's not going and getting into something else that he doesn't need to be getting into. Exactly. So we just found that it's really interesting that if you're doing something maybe that's actually, now that I think about it, not really in alignment with what you would want to be doing anyway, you're just passing the time.
Right.
It's like his antennas go up and he knows.
Right.
And he's like, let's go do something better.
Exactly.
You don't
Yeah.
always have the energy to like get crafts out and work with him, right?
Right.
So what has to be done in the house? Like there's all these chores and things.
Right.
And when you knock one out, what
Gosh.
happens?
Well, it's a cascade of awesomeness.
You get energy
I
back.
feel like I get energy, and then I have more energy to put towards the kids, as well as the house, as well as all sorts of other things. So instead of feeling drained and diminished by all of the things that I'm not getting done, because that's always weighing on me, then I'm able to actually be present with him, do some things in the house. He's getting to see stuff. He can help be involved as well, but I just feel like I get some energy back, and it's just really awesome. It's a win-win, really.
You know what I just realized? I think it's that he feels that we're present or we're not.
Yeah, correct.
And like when you're doing chores and you're doing things together,
Yeah,
You're present.
you're all there together.
right? And then he can feel like when you disconnect
Right.
and you're doing something else. So maybe that's actually what he's cued into. That's interesting.
That is interesting.
Because it's like, it doesn't really, it seems like it's about the activity, but it's really about the connection.
Yeah, I think it really is. He wants connection, for sure. And, you know, we also found that what we would do previous to August being born is I would take Lincoln out for a date with him. We would go on adventure time. We call it adventure time here.
Yeah.
We would go to PetSmart and look at the fish, or we would go look at the cats there, or the guinea pigs, or whatever other little critters that they had.
It was so hot this summer, we couldn't go to the park and
Correct.
stuff. So just go to the pet store and stuff.
Exactly. So we would do different things, and with the situation that we find ourselves in, plus potty training, that's not been really an option until about maybe 2 weeks ago. But that's also what he wants. He wants time with me as well. You know, he loves going out with you and doing things like Kid Strong or other stuff.
Yeah.
But oh gosh, if the adventure time is even going to Walmart or to Smith's or whatever store we need to go to pick up groceries. He knows what a grocery store is. He loves it.
Yeah.
So it's simple stuff, but like you said, it's connection. When we're in the car, we're constantly talking to each other, or when we're at the grocery store, we're really together and we're on a mission. You know, so I love that.
Yeah, I think we're just going to work more consciously to bring him into the fold because there's just so many benefits to it, you know, beyond the connection, the being present. He gets to learn new skills. He gets to bond with mom and dad. And
Well, and I have the vision and the hope, you know, with all the things coming into our life, with taking me more and more out of our business and just having specific roles that I'm really, really good at, that I'll have more time with him in August, and that I will be able to involve them in all sorts of other things, doing crafts and having energy for that, and cleaning and organizing and helping them be involved in stuff, and having life skills like learning how to do laundry when they're little, folding their laundry, putting those things away, all sorts of things that are so possible for little kids to help with, and they're so excited to do it. So I'm really excited for that eventuality for us.
yeah, it's great. We have a community question for you this week. We're excited about it. We want to know, what's a chore that your kids like to do with you? We may or may not be looking for some extra inspiration here. Also, let us know how old your kid is. I think that would be helpful, right? The things that
I love that.
2-year-old is capable of are pretty different than a 5-year-old and so forth. But we'd still love to hear it. You know, what's a chore your kids like to do with you? You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, all the places at Babies and Biz Pod. That's where we're going to post that community question for you to interact with. We'd love to hear, you know, your comments and what you come up with. With that, if you haven't given us that 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, or Spotify, please do that. It helps encourage new listeners to tune in to the show. And with that, we'll catch you on the next one.
Bye for now.
Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of the Babies in Business Podcast. Who do you know that would benefit from hearing this episode? Share it with them and post about it on social media. You can find the show notes for this episode, free downloads, and connect with the rest of the community at babiesandbiz.com. We'll see you next time.